right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is becoming a twice a year event. So I was really happy to see how many people registered for this class because it tells me there is a need for this information. So if you have your oils, oil up. If you got a crystal, clutch it or put it in your lap. Let's see, what crystal do I want? Uh, what's around me? Okay. All right, I'm going for stellar beam calcite and a violet agate. All right, here we go. Isn't she pretty? Violet agate. Whew. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not going to be a 60-minute class. It's probably more like a 90-minute. There is a lot. There is a lot. And I'm literally giving you guys a snapshot. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know me, because I did see a couple of names register, and it's like, hey, these are new people. Welcome, new people. So, and for the rest of you, hi. Feel free to type in the chat. I will do my best to monitor the chat for any questions. But for those of you who don't know me or maybe forgot, I am a really bizarre unicorn blend of a lawyer of 31 years with an energy wellness business, which this month is the 14th birthday of my energy wellness business. And if you have not gotten my 14th birthday gift for you, I've been putting it all over social media. It's a PDF booklet of 14 of my favorite oily crystal recipes for the seven chakras. So if you don't have it, just start scrolling my social media and you will find it because I've been promoting that all month. All right. So yes, I am an attorney. I know the laws, but I have also been studying universal laws and universal energies and frequencies since 2005. So even though my business is 14 years old, I really started deep diving into this 20 years ago. So I have been in this for a hot minute. So I'm just gonna start diving right in. Um, but I first want to preface everything that I'm going to say because I think I've got some people here from my Sacred Shift community. This is the stuff that we talk about in my Sacred Shift community. And let me just give you a little preview. Um, I'll share more information at the end, and what I'm going to share at the end is not going to be recorded. Okay, but I will email it to everybody that's been registered if you have to hop off. So my Sacred Shift community, I launched it December of 2020 in the heat of the pandemic. Remember that? Remember the pandemic? All that fun stuff happening? And I created it because I was working all of my certifications, all my trainings to help me through a very difficult time because my mom at that point was in assisted living with Alzheimer's, and I found that I was able to handle challenges because of everything that I was doing. And I tapped into some pretty high potential energies, and the Sacred Shift was born. And it's held me ever since through a lot of challenges, including the energy shift. So tonight, I want to update you on the current energies because if you have ever questioned if we are in an energy shift, if you have ever wondered, what is this energy shift that I hear people talking about? What does it feel like? You're in it big time. We are in Mach 10. Okay, we are in it. And so I'm going to share just a snippet of what's going on. I mean, in my Sacred Shift community, we spend through two meetups, a total of 3 hours each month, deep diving into everything. They get like a 15 to 20 page workbook every month. So I'm just going to try to not fire hose and overwhelm you, but I know it's going to be a fire hose and it's going to be overwhelming. So you'll get the recording to this if you need to go back, but I'm going to give you at the end some helpful techniques to do right now to really help you with this shift, because this shift is not meant for you to collapse on yourself like a dying star. You are meant to thrive through this. And so when I see people not thriving, it's like, oh, I just want to help. I just want to help. So this is my way of helping. The Sacred Shift is my community as a way of helping. And I will tell you, this is really important information as we head into summer, which is going to be explosive. It's going to be packed with very strong energies to push all of us into a new way of being. And if you are equipped, you're going to be fine. It's going to be like going to the amusement park and you're riding the roller coaster and you're belted in and you're screaming your head off. But when you get to the end of the ride, you're like, let's do it again. And for those who are not belted in and don't have the tools and the techniques, they're literally screaming in fear, and that will be their reality. Okay. So let me talk about the energy shift. So I have been talking about it since 2011. That's when I started my business, May of 2011. And so I have been talking about this ever since then because it really, like, I can say without a doubt, the energy shift, like the on lever went full blast on 11/11/11. November 11th of 2011. Some people say it started before then, and yes, of course it did, but no doubt we were in it as of 11/11/11. Now, some people call it, the Great Awakening, the Ascension, the Golden Age, and there is no doubt that 2020, y'all remember what happened in 2020, right? COVID? Yeah, COVID was a big push into the Great Awakening. COVID broke people. I'm still analyzing it, but COVID broke people. And I don't know anybody who's the same. I want you to look back at your life, January of 2020. What were you doing? What did you believe? What were you thinking? What was your mindset? What were your hobbies? Who were your friends? What was your life like? I can guarantee you, if it has not completely turned upside down, at least 50% of it is different. COVID broke people. Now, the breaking can be a good thing because it'll crack you open at a soul level, and that's a good thing. But with other people, they just broke. They just broke. So that was a major catalyst. And that's when a lot of people woke up. They absolutely woke up because we're all sitting at home on shelter in place orders. And what did people do? They got on the internet and they started cruising around and they started learning about things that their otherwise busy hustle life prevented them from learning about. COVID was a great reset for us, okay? Now, over the years, there have been a variety of celestial events and portals opening. Like, I post on social media when they are, like the Lionsgate on August 8th, the big 11/11 portals. And this is where light codes or energy literally comes into Earth as energy upgrades. And it's to upgrade humans. And the energies don't discriminate. The upgrades are available to everybody, but not everybody will take advantage of the upgrades because it's all being driven at a soul level. If your soul is like, you are not here to upgrade, that is not your job this go around, then first of all, you wouldn't be here. You'd look at all of this and say, I don't get it, I don't understand it, and you'd walk away. Not everybody is meant to shift. But for those who are working on your inner self, your soul alignment, working on deprogramming and finding truth and trusting your intuition, those are the people that can literally be receptive to the light codes and the upgrades. And here's the thing. not everybody is meant to upgrade. Many people are here to show us what we don't want. It's called contrast. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more down the road. But when you have contrast, you figure out what you want by experiencing what you don't. So all the challenges, all the difficulties, all the quote bad things, which that's a human construct, all of that helps you then decide, I don't want that. I want this instead. That's what contrast does. Okay. So contrast is a very, very positive thing if you flip your mindset on it. Now, on a smaller scale, shifts keep coming in and more frequently now, and I call them energetic quakes. So they may not have been as shocking and as jolting as the 2020 Great Awakening, but we did have a pretty big energetic quake in November of 2024. And if you participated in me talking about this last December, because I teach this class twice a year and it's updated. The last time I talked about it was in December. And I talked about how a significant shift happened in the early morning hours of November 6th, where hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people woke up between 3 and 4 a.m. This was the early morning hours after the election. This is not a political statement. I'm talking energetics about what happened. People started gathering on social media, especially TikTok, and there's a whole 4 a.m. club. And we started talking about what we experienced. Some people woke up with enhanced intuition. They just knew. They knew stuff before they even turned on their phone or computer. Some woke up sick. That was me. I literally woke up with motion sickness and I'm like, what the heck? I'm literally laying in bed. What is going on? The ground beneath us cracked and broke open. Not physically, not literally, but energetically it did. And so a lot of people who are very sensitive got sick. Some people woke up with a knowing that things were different. Some people woke up and just never returned to who they were the day before. Everything has changed for them. And I can tell you honestly, I'm one of those people. Everything's different. That's part of the energy shift. So we had a big shift in November, but we have these smaller scale energetic quakes happening. And for everyone that, especially in November, well, going back to COVID, and then especially last November, everyone who experienced this shift, it was dramatic. It was frankly violent. A lot of people like jolted out of bed. Foundations were literally weakened and taken away. A lot of people felt like they were in a free fall. A lot of people had dark night of the soul where you just feel like everything is crashing and you start questioning everything and lives really changed. And I'm not joking when I say hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people all went through the same thing. Okay? It's not woo-woo. Something happened. And it changed how people lived their lives. People all of a sudden don't watch the news anymore. And we know this because all the mainstream media has been reporting how viewership literally tanked the day after the election. Tanked. And it had honestly nothing to do with the election. Something shook and people just said, I'm done. I'm done with the propaganda and I'm done with the manipulation and I'm done with the lies. People started walking away unapologetically from negative situations, from negative jobs, negative people, negative groups. Um, a lot of us in this group pulled away from communities that we were in, like literally feeling repelled by long-standing communities. Certain foods and drinks started making us sick because they were low vibrational. A lot of us got into what I call nesting. It's not isolation. It's not being an introvert. It's literally creating such outrageous comfort in your home that you're like, I don't want to leave. Other people can come over. but I'm like super comfortable. I don't want to leave. And that was a big shift for a lot of people. But it also resulted in a lot of like apathy and lack of motivation. And this is from people highly motivated. Like if you've always struggled with lack of motivation and follow through, if you still struggle with that, this is different. Highly, highly motivated, goal-driven people all of a sudden drop their goals. And that was very interesting because part of this shift in November was for those doing the work who got the biggest shift, it's the ego really fading off into the distance. And when the ego, it doesn't ever go away, but when it virtually becomes silent, goals don't matter. And so that I've been studying that recently, and it's like, this is fascinating. But people also started preserving their energy and doing nervous system work and more shadow work because just like a computer that has its entire hardware system removed and then a new one is put in, that's what these two upgrades did. Literally took out our energetic hardware and re-implanted something to handle the new energies. So one thing that I've been, telling a lot of people is when you are awakening and shifting, that's probably a better word, shifting. Things that once brought you excitement and motivation no longer do. And there's nothing wrong with what was. You've literally shifted out of it. You've shifted out of it. You may still love it, but it's like, not my thing anymore. Because these energies ask us to slow down so that we can pivot to a new direction. Okay. So this major shifting is going to continue until about 2032. Okay, so we've got at least 7 more years. And it's going to continue beyond that, but like the crux of it, like the heart of it, we are in it. I mean, we are in it. So it really, really, really went full gear in 2020. It's gonna, I think, start slowing down 2032. So we're in the heat. We're in the heat of the moment right now. Okay. So that's why my Sacred Shift community isn't going anywhere because it's going to be around to help people who need it. Now, like I said, not all are open at a soul level to the upgrades because that may not be their sole purpose. And it doesn't mean you're a lower life form and you're a low energy. No, your soul is like you have a job to do here, and your job is to stay in the third dimensional energies of Earth. It's not to go into the higher frequencies. Okay, if that's your job, that's an important job. That's an important job. Okay, so not everybody is here to upgrade. Those who are upgrading, upgrade at different times. They're all on different levels, which is why we have people who see something one way and another person saw the same thing and sees it a completely different way. Okay, this is called a timeline split, and I'm going to go into detail in a little bit about that. So there's a lot of things happening that are coming together to create this upheaval, this change, this transformation. And I want to go through what is happening. And this is now. This is not what the energies were 6 months ago, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago. It's now. This is what is happening now. So, like I said, humans are upgrading. And, humans have gone through an evolutionary upgrade since the beginning of time, tens of thousands of years. So this isn't woo-woo, it's biology. Okay. We are in a significant evolutionary push, but like, how is this happening, especially at a spiritual level? It's really the energies around us that are upgrading us and that change us because we are a carbon-based life form made of 70% water. Scientists have long since proven that you can change the molecular structure of water with words, with thoughts, with affirmations, with music, with frequency. So everything that I'm going to discuss is frequency that is literally changing the water in our cells, in our DNA, and it's upgrading our nervous system, which is why so many people have nervous system dysregulation. That's why I taught the nervous system reset class. When was that? Last month? Yeah, in April, because it was time. It was time to teach it. A year ago, it wasn't time, but now was the time. So for those of you who took that, I hope it was helpful. Now, how do you know that you are upgrading? Because everyone is given the opportunity to upgrade. It's just at a soul level, is that your calling? How you know is you have an urge to do the inner work. Like you want to do shadow work, which I'm going to be teaching a class in less than a week, a shadow class. And it is not about diving into dark, the dark side of you. There is so much misinformation about shadow. I just literally want to scream. Shadow is just what you hid. That's all it is. It's what you hid. It's a part of you. You don't get rid of it. You don't eliminate it. You alchemize it and you make it part of who you are and let it empower you. So I have a very different take on shadow, but if you have a desire to do the inner shadow work, to figure out your triggers, to do the deep exploration beyond surface level personal development, if you want to work with frequency and really work with universal laws, which are all happening, whether we acknowledge it or not, if you have that urge, you're upgrading. Those who are doing all of this work are handling the energies better. Some days are not all kittens and puppies. It can be challenging. But yet there are others who do nothing. So they just don't feel good in their skin. And it's resulting in a lot of emotional imbalance, mental health issues, mystery illnesses that the doctors can't resolve. And it's because at a soul level, they just opted not to upgrade. And so they're not talking to you about your interest in all of this. They're not coming to my classes. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't guilt anybody. Everybody's got a soul path. And the more that we understand and work with the energies and allow our spiritual evolution to happen, the better we're going to feel. Have you ever done something that was painful, but on the other side of it, you were a better person? Childbirth, painful on the tail end of it, all was good. Maybe working out at the gym for the first time. You discovered muscles that you didn't even have. Or like yesterday, I was doing a simple weeding project in my beautiful lawn that won't quit. And it turned into a landscaping project. And it was painful while I was doing it, but I'm so glad I did it. Okay. That's how it is working with the energies. It may not feel good all the time, but you keep going because we are clearing out millions of years of ancestral disharmonic energies. It's a lot of buried, dark, karmic energies that are surfacing to be resolved. Okay, we are witnessing the ultimate battle of, and these are human attributes: good versus evil, freedom versus control. Humans do that. Energy doesn't label at all. We label, but we're seeing this play out. And what we see is based on the timeline we are on. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about timeline so that you understand what that means. But we are clearing the ancestral energy. We're clearing out what I call ancestral rage for the oppression and the control energies, as well as for groups of people, and it could be your, maternal line in your ancestry that's been suppressed. I mean, I want you to think about your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, because I saw this quote and it's like, oh my gosh, this is the ancestral healing. You might not realize it yet, but you're the first woman in your maternal line to travel, to choose for herself, to walk freely and shape her own destiny. This is how generations begin to heal. This is part of the energy shift. Think about your mom, your grandma, your great grandma, as far back as you can go. My mom was a master genealogist. She took one of our lines back 87 generations. I can only imagine what the beginning of that lineage, the lack of freedom and choice that my maternal line had. We are clearing all of that, and we chose to be here for it. Okay. So what's interesting is I'm hearing a lot of people like we live in two different worlds. We have a third dimensional world, we have a fifth dimensional world. We all grew up in the third dimensional world. What is what we see. But in the fifth dimension world, we're upgrading. So it's interesting to be in a fifth dimensional upgraded energy and look at what's happening in the third dimension. Because you can upgrade and still live in obviously live in third dimension. And I'm hearing a lot of people in the third dimension talk about how history is repeating itself and they're going back through all these horrific times in history. And it's like, well, maybe, but what it really is karma. And there's kind of some misunderstanding about what karma is. But we have old karmic wounds that are surfacing for us to transmute them. We Here's the thing, we don't get rid of anything. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Everything is energy, including traumatic historical incidents like the Holocaust. Traumatic. We have not even begun to do the karmic work on that. And that's why it's coming back and everybody's like it's history repeating itself. No, it's karma. Karma is about balancing. Karma, and this is my interpretation, and if it doesn't resonate with you, you can totally disregard it. That's what I say with everything that I teach. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. But here's my interpretation. Karma is about balancing. It's not what goes around comes around. Energy does not punish or label things good or bad. We do. Okay? So there's a universal law called the law of relativity, and it says that everything is neutral until we assign a value to it. Good, bad, right, wrong. And many believe that karma is a punishment for something bad, but here's the thing, karma can also be good. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect, where one action causes an energetic reaction or a consequence. That's what karma is. You do something, you get a consequence. It can be good, it can be bad. In the energy world, the energies are like, we don't even know what that is. Okay, so you go out and you drive in your car. Okay, that's neither good nor bad, but if you hit somebody and kill them, okay. Or if you take food to the food bank in your car, okay. I mean, the energies are like, okay, but we label hitting and killing somebody bad, taking food to the food bank good, okay? So when we just start working with energy, we realize when you do something, there's a consequence for it. So karma is unresolved actions, unprocessed energy that just loops on repeat until something changes. And that's why people say history repeats itself. No, karma repeats itself. It's in a loop because karma wants a conclusion. Okay, so karma is no longer this ethereal concept where the consequences are going to come in another lifetime. Like literally 15 years ago, that was true. Like karma will never resolve in your lifetime. But now karma is instant. It's absolutely instant. And you can get in the loop and literally be in the loop all day. And it's in our faces all day. So when something happens, like a trauma or a betrayal, something that we label bad, it leaves an energetic imprint. Likewise, when something good happens, it leaves an energetic imprint. And if it is not resolved, it will linger. It will linger. So if you ever catch yourself doing the same thing, drawing in the same relationships, the same bosses, the same jobs, the same financial issues, the same whatever, that's karma. But it's important to remember that if you feel you have a karmic loop happening or a karmic debt, as some people say it, it's really not a debt, it's just a karmic loop. You can clear it when you simply become the energy that you want to see in the world. Let me say that again. You can clear karma when you become the energy that you want to see in the world. What is it? What is it that you want to see? Feel free to type in the chat. What do you want to see? Do you want to see kindness? Do you want to see people, human beings behaving kindly? Then you have to be kind. Do you want to see compassion? Then you have to be compassionate. Do you want to see empathy for people who maybe need a helping hand? Then you need to be empathetic. Do you want to see more love in the world? Then you have to give it first. Do you want to see more tolerance? Then you need to be tolerant and not be triggered all the time. When you act and think with the traits that you want, that balances anything karmically bad. And I say that in air quotes. Okay. So, one person that I have connected with in the spiritual TikTok community said something brilliant the other week. She said, "We did not come here in this time to survive the fire. We came here to end it." That's you and me. We are here at this time for all of this energy shifting happening. Okay? We were not born in 1910. We were not. We were born when we were born to be of the age with the wisdom and the skills to be here right now. I want to repeat what she said again. We did not come here in this time to survive the fire. We came here to end it. Now, if that is a mantra or an affirmation you want to put on your bathroom mirror, please do. So, once again, it's not repeating history. We are releasing karmic wounds. And that's why the past is bubbling up because we don't deal with things. Human beings don't. Those of us in the energy shift, we're like, we got it. We'll clear it. We will alchemize that energy. We'll transmute it. Okay? So that's what is happening because our ancestors were not equipped to handle what happened. We are. We have the resources, we have the skills, we can look at it from a heightened frequency. We can say no. Remember the contrast that I talk about? We have to see things that we don't want in order to know what we do. So we look at the contrast and say, hard no, transmute it and alchemize it. And that means you don't sit in that energy. You don't sit in it, you don't stew about it, you don't post about it on social media all day, you don't talk to your friends about it all day. You say, I don't want that, gone. What do I do want? And when you switch your focus, that's how you alchemize energies. I'm going to teach more about it in the shadow class next week. So, like when I think about my grandmother, my great grandmother, and so on, they did not have the knowledge and the skills that I have. So, I'm doing it for my entire maternal line because it ends with us. That's why this energy shift is so hard because we are literally pulling so much ancestral energy. It's heavy. It's heavy. But here's the thing. If you're like, Allie, I'm out. Peace out. I can't do this anymore. All I can say is the energies are going to suck you back in a very hard way. We don't get to say no. We don't get to say no. We're all doing things in our own ways, but it ends with us. Okay? It ends with us. So, other ways that we are upgrading is the veil of what has been hidden in our society has absolutely been lifted. I've been talking about it consistently for 5 years. We're getting little snippets. The fog is clearing. Oh no, it's fully lifted. It's showing us things that are difficult to see. It's like peeling an onion. You peel back a layer and it's like, ugh, okay. And you peel back another layer, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, I want you to think back 1 year to last spring, spring 2024, and I want you to think back to the start of the pandemic, spring of 2020. And I want you to think about all the things that you have learned about that you didn't know. And you're like, how did I not know that? Why was this hidden? Why was this being covered up? Let me give you an example. UFOs. Okay. UFOs were for the tinfoil hat people even just 10 years ago. If you believed in UFOs, if you were talking about UFOs to your friends and family, they were all doing this. They were pulling back, rolling their eyes like, do we need to do a mental health check? That was just 10 years ago. And now there's literally governmental hearings where they're showing the videos and they've got all the evidence. It's all being disclosed. That's what I mean by the veil lifting. There's so much out there that has just been hidden intentionally or maybe hidden for our own good. It's all coming out. It's all coming out. I mean, you all know I'm a former prosecutor, so I'm following the P. Diddy trial. It's like, oh my gosh, that man is just, I don't know how he's going to escape being convicted. The Veil, because he was a very beloved music producer and singer, very influential, and it's like the veil lifted on the depravity of what he was doing. So lots of veils of illusion are being lifted. And don't fear it because there are a lot of systems that have trapped us and our ancestors to constantly live in survival mode. How many of you feel like you are always in survival mode? Always. Always. That's not how it's supposed to be. I'll tell you that right now. No way, no how. First of all, your physical body can't handle being in survival mode, which is why a lot of people are sick. It fries your nervous system, which is why your emotional system and your mental health is gone. We're not meant to be in survival mode, but the structures of our society trapped us to be in survival mode. And no one wants that. So when I talk about veils lifting, things collapsing, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. We cannot keep going like this. Nobody wants to keep going like this. People hate each other. Nobody wants to live like this. This is not how it's supposed to be. So the shift can feel difficult for many because of how we have literally been programmed. We're just a big walking computer. We've been programmed since the day we were born. And so your foundation can feel shaky. I was describing it last week in our Sacred Shift meetup that when you are in the shift, you feel like you're walking on squishy stuff, like you're walking on jello. It's like, well, I'm still upright, but I feel very unstable. Like I don't want to take any big steps. I don't want to move fast because I could fall. Like I don't know where I'm going. That's part of the shift to slow us down. And the one thing that is so important in this shift is the way that we perceive everything happening around us is based on our timeline. It's that we're on. It's based on what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting, how you're thinking. Are you focused on everything that you want, not only for yourself, but for society? Or are you obsessing and doom scrolling social media with all the things that are going wrong because, and I posted about this the other day. When you are on social media, if you give 5 seconds of your time on a post, the algorithm says, oh, Allie's really interested in that. Let's feed her more. Oh, look, Allie clicked a thumbs up or a heart. She's putting emotion behind this. Let's feed her even more. Oh, look, Allie posted a comment. Now she's got action. She literally has the frequency of words. Let's hit her hard in the algorithm. So if I'm doing that, looking at videos of donkeys, all I'm going to see in my feed are rescue donkeys. If I'm doing that with political posts, all I'm going to see are political posts that feed a consensus bias and basically prove to me, I'm right, you're wrong. Social media algorithm is literally what the energy shift is and the timeline. It just feeds you more of what you're putting out. What your frequency is putting out, it's just sending it right back to you 5, 10, 100 times stronger. So it's really important as we are upgrading to figure out, first of all, what do you want? What do you want? I don't want to hear what you don't want. I want to hear what you do want. When I ask people this, I get deer in the headlights. Look, it's like, has nobody ever asked you what you want? What do you want? This is a thing that I really want you to do this week. I want you to write down everything that you want. Okay? And then I want you to write down, what do you want for society? What do you want for your community, your state, your city, your country, the world? What do you want for the collective of human beings? What do you want? Because when you shift your energy, that that changes everything and the energy shift is going to go faster. So, do we want to fight each other all the time? No. Do we want to transmute what is unwanted and only embrace what we do want? Yeah. Okay. Because here's the thing, no one oppresses us and no one liberates us. We do that. We oppress ourselves and we liberate ourselves. No one does that. And as soon as you believe that, truly, truly believe that, and stop pointing the finger outside of you and can point it in and say, I oppress myself and I also liberate myself, boom, everything shifts. Everything shifts. When people can take control of themselves, things happen. So, for people who don't know how to transmute those old belief systems like that, they struggle to flow with these energies. They just want to get back to normal. I hear that from a lot of people. I wish things would just get back to normal. And they really hunker down in their beliefs and just keep living the same lives over and over again. And that could be their soul agreement. But like I said, we're receiving these literal DNA upgrades as the earth evolves, and we are going to evolve with it. Okay, so um, it's I was having this conversation the other day. We don't need 51% of the human population to shift. If you have never read the Map of Consciousness book, I would highly recommend reading it because in the book he talks about how it takes one person vibrating at a certain high frequency to literally shift tens of thousands of people. Okay, so when it comes to the shift, we don't need 51% shifting and elevating and upgrading. We just need something like maybe 10%. And that's where we come in. That's where we come in. Okay. So let's talk about energy. So everything is made of energy. Humans are energetic frequency. Energies impact us, even from unusual locations. Okay, do you ever have trouble sleeping during a full moon? I do. Yeah, you're in your house. Windows closed, doors closed, you're in a box and the moon gets in and influences you. Yeah, because energy doesn't know time or space boundaries. It literally goes through your walls. Maybe you've had a day recently where you were really angry, really sad, agitated. You were just off and you had no explanation why. Could have been the energies around you. Maybe things that you were once interested in, you no longer are. Food that you used to love, you can't tolerate. Friends and coworkers that you loved, you're like, ooh, I just would rather not hang around them. Maybe your work has changed. If you have your own business, I'll tell you, if you have your own business, businesses are changing dramatically. I know mine is. Here's the thing, humans are 99 point, how many nines do we have there? Nine, 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 nine. We have seven nines. Empty space, which is energy frequency. And only 0.0000001 is solid matter. And you're probably thinking, I don't know, I feel pretty solid. We're energy frequency. And so energy frequency impacts other energy frequency. So humans and animals are very influenced by frequency on this planet. We're influenced by the moon energy, by universal energies from all the universes out there. There are over 100 billion galaxies, and if you think they're not influencing you, they are. Everything is influencing us. We are literally a little blip that is being bombarded by so much energy that we cannot see. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. We can't see the law of gravity, but we know it works, right? Now, some people feel energy strongly, others feel nothing, but we are all impacted, and I can see it in how people respond because everything is energy and frequency. So, frequency is the new currency in how we live and manifest. There's another mantra, there's another bumper sticker. Frequency is the new currency in how we live and manifest. We need to understand frequency because, kind of going back to our upgrade when I was talking about the ancestral energies, we have lived, and when I was talking about living in survival mode, on how just everything has been set up for us to live in survival mode, and that's not okay. It's called the control matrix. Okay, it's not conspiracy theory. It's when you literally look at things in our society, do you feel freedom or do you feel control? This control matrix suppresses people, especially feminine energy, especially females. And that is absolutely collapsing right in front of our eyes right now. And if you're thinking, but Allie, I'm seeing all of these bad things happen to women, that's the collapse. When you start seeing things happening that you're like, oh my gosh, that's not good. This is not okay. That's the collapse. It's literally a house of cards collapsing. It's frequency. And the feminine frequency, because we're in this divine rise of feminine energy, and the feminine frequency is not about women dominating or women ruling. Feminine frequency is about balance. It's about creating through flow. It's about manifesting through frequency, living through intuition, purpose over performance, lifting others up, coming together in community. That's a feminine frequency. And that's what we are absolutely driving our car toward right now. The instinctual feminine energy is rising in a big way right now, and it's showing up as strength and truth and intuition and standing firm and creating space for you to be you and for you to say no, like setting really good boundaries because the divine feminine is not a pushover. Okay. It's an energy that is rooted in healing, doing the inner work, and turning it into empowerment. And that's what I'm talking about next week in my shadow class is how do you alchemize your shadow to empower you? Okay. So let me go briefly through the things that are influencing us. And I'm just going to kind of briefly touch on this. I deep dive in the sacred shift each month, because it's a lot. I mean, this is really, really intense stuff. But I want to share this because I don't want anybody to think that you're going crazy. You know, if you feel physically unwell and you're emotionally imbalanced and you're just mentally off, there are things that you can do to stabilize and feel better. Start tracking the Schumann resonance. Okay, this is 2024 on the screen. So the base frequency of the Earth historically has been 7.83 hertz. That is long gone. Now, I cannot find any scientific organization that has a new standardized frequency because I don't think we have one. It is still trying to settle. It is up and down, up and down, up and down, but we are getting closer to evening out. And the 7.83 hertz. So if you look over here on the left, you see the zero on the bottom, and then you see 200, 400, 600, 800. Just take the zero off, and that's the hertz. So 7.83 hertz is hovering down here close to zero. Okay? We are consistently above that. We are pretty consistently 15 to 20 hertz. But again, it's up and down. That was last year. Last year was a hot mess. I'll tell you that. Now, I couldn't get the same graph because the graph was down for 2025, but I pulled this. This is a different graph. This is May so far. We've been relatively calm. Okay. The blue and the green are just kind of easy energies. The whites are the spikes. And we just don't have that much white. We have little blips here and there, but not like this. Okay, so things are starting to settle a little bit. It's not consistent. But this is really important to know because everybody reacts to Schumann resonance differently. So for those of you who don't know, the Schumann resonance is literally the Earth's frequency. And it's measured by NASA. This is not woo-woo at all. This is very scientific. It's been measured since 1952. Dr. Schumann discovered this, and they set up 6 or 7 sensors across the world that literally measure the Earth's heartbeat. Okay. Everybody responds differently. A spike in the frequency could put you in bed for days, or you could get so much energy and be so creative and have your intuition go through the roof. Everyone is different. Okay. So I always ask people to track how you respond to the Schumann resonance. But last year was crazy. This year I feel the resonance is trying to stabilize. Okay. Now, this doesn't help. So we have extensive solar flare activity right now. So the sun goes through 11-year solar cycles. And at the beginning of a solar cycle is called solar minimum, the beginning and the end, and in the middle is the maximum. So we are currently in solar cycle 25, and it started December of 2019. So that was minimum. Like there were very, very, very few, if any, solar flares. And it ends in 2030. We are in solar maximum. July is the height. That's why I said this summer is going to be explosive. So solar flares and coronal mass ejections. So coronal mass ejections are the big solar flares and they're X class. So the flares come through and they're graded A, B, C, M, and X. A, B, and C are pretty low. M is a really decent solar flare and X is a coronal mass ejection. So the solar flares and the coronal mass ejections can create beautiful northern lights. So for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, the northern lights are great, well, then you better be ready because it's also highly reactive plasma and it bubbles up agitation, anger, and violence in people who are ungrounded. So while they may be beautiful, not beautiful things can happen. And I can track solar flares to mass protests, mass violence, mass gun shootings, things like that. And it can take a few days for a solar flare to reach us. And but I'm tracking this. We've had a fair number of coronal mass ejections, and we are only 5 months into the year. Okay. So this influences people because the highly reactive plasma is very agitating. It's like sticking your finger in an electrical socket. You're going to get fried. And people who are not grounded, they get fried during solar maximums. So just be aware of this. We're going into the height of it in June and July. All right, then we also have planetary influences, and I'm not going to go real in depth into this because that slide alone could take me 3 hours to explain. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to astrology. Other planets influence our energies because everything is energy. If you move something, anything in the universe, it moves energy. Like when you throw a rock into a lake, you see the ripples. All these planets that move create ripples. And physics tells us that every action and movement creates a reaction. That's physics. Some people say that looking at planets and astrology is nonsense, but I've been studying and applying astrology to my life for over 40 years. I've spent years tracking planetary movements and can relate what astrology says to what is actually happening or what has happened. I don't like predictive astrology. I like to go back and look, and it's like, well, I'll be dang. What was said is what happened. It's fascinating. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about retrograde. When a planet is retrograde, it looks like it's going backwards in the sky, but it's really not. It's how we're moving that it looks backwards. But retrograde energy gives us a time for a second glance to review, reassess, redo, reflect, all the re's of retrograde. Okay. Now, 2024 was packed with big, big retrograde lessons, a lot of upheavals, a lot of boundary issues, a lot of diving deep and working on ourselves, dark energies being exposed, old energies collapsing. I don't know about you, but I felt like in 2024, I was in the boxing ring the entire year and I was getting the crap beat out of me. This year feels a little slower right now because we have to integrate all the lessons. Okay, we can't be going 100 miles an hour and expect to make a left hand turn. We literally flip over. We have to slow down in order to redirect. So, but I feel this summer is going to kick into high gear. It's going to be explosive. Solar flares, Schumann resonance, we got planetary movements, we got some eclipse energies coming up. So I think we're going to have a lot of transformation. Plus, we have the big planets, the big outer planets moving into new signs, and that's a big deal. It's like five, I think five of the big planets are all moving. And when a planet moves into a new zodiac, it's the start of a new energy. Okay. So right now we have Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. Pluto is about transformation. It's all death and rebirth and revolution. Aquarius is very airy, very curious, very fluid and progressive and open-minded. And so you put Pluto in Aquarius, this is exactly where the United States was 248 years ago during the American Revolution and where the French were during the French Revolution. We are literally at the same degree of Pluto and Aquarius as we were 248 years ago. It takes Pluto 19 to 20 years to move through a zodiac sign. We're gonna be here for a while because we just moved last November into Aquarius. We're going to be there until 2044. We got 20 years. Okay, so when you can do further research on this to find out what is happening, but where it was when it was in Capricorn before it moved into Aquarius, Pluto showed us the dark side of patriarchy. It showed us the dark side that we're controlled. A lot of people are like, I had no idea how manipulated I have been my whole life. People now see it because of where Pluto was in Capricorn. Corporate greed, um, businesses built on greed are collapsing because of where it was in Capricorn. Um, so where it is now, it's a new era, a new you, rapid innovation, um, but a lot of revolution. Doesn't mean everybody's picking up their musket, and going to war. It could be a technology innovation. It could just be an upgrade of human beings. So don't fear it. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So watch for continued collapsing of control structures and people rising up. Saturn. Oh, here's the thing. Okay, if you were born, I need you to go to your run your free astrology birth chart on any website. Just run it and find out if your Saturn is in Aries. If you were born like 1967 to 69, if you were born 1996 to 98, or to 99, you're in what's called a Saturn return. I just got out of my Saturn return, although we're going to pop back in it September through November. It ain't for the weak. I'll tell you right now, a Saturn return is harsh. Saturn is how you set boundaries and create order in your life. Saturn is like, you need to grow up. You need to cut the crap. You're feeding yourself a bunch of BS. And Saturn says, I'm sick of it. So I'm going to shake your world to set you straight. That's what a Saturn return is. Now, if you have a Saturn return in Aries, Aries is fiery. So you're really basically things are going to get burned down for you. Now, here's the thing. You end up in a better place. We we all get a Saturn return in our late 20s. Okay. It Saturn moves through the zodiacs about 2.5 years per zodiac. So around 27, 28, it's going to come back to where it was when you were born. And that's when we get our first Saturn return, and we are pushed to grow up. Maybe you get your first real job, maybe you get married, maybe you have kids. You're forced to grow up. Move out of mom and dad's house. Okay, that's your first Saturn return. Your second Saturn return is, anywhere from like 56 to 58. And this is when your foundation will be shook in a big way. And it will set you straight. And even if you think, but I'm on my soul path and I'm doing all this great stuff, you're still going to have a shakeup. So I just got out of mine. Ugh. I mean, losing both of my parents, that was a foundation. I lost my foundation. But I'm coming out on the other end. Okay. So if we're lucky, we get a third Saturn return in our 80s, and that's when we have to critically look at our legacy that we leave behind. Okay. So find out where Saturn is in your birth chart. And if you have Saturn in Aries, you're, you're in it. You're in it. Okay. You're going to be in it for about 2.5 years. Okay. It's no fun. I will commiserate with you. All right. June 9th, and this is where big planets moving signs. Jupiter moves into Cancer. Okay, Jupiter is how you grow, how you find meaning. It's your fortune, your joy, your wisdom, and Cancer is very watery and emotional. It needs nurturing, it seeks comfort and security. So this is an amazing abundance energy that's going to be tied to your emotions. So you're going to get checked on your emotional state. Because if your emotions are in the gutter, it's going to impact your manifesting. Okay, if you're flying off the handle, if you're triggered, if you're not doing your inner work, Jupiter is going to check you hard. Okay, so this is why when we do the work, We are the oppressor and we are the liberator. Nobody does that to us. And when you finally recognize that and say, oh, all this crap that I've been tolerating, you mean I can liberate myself from it? Jupiter's like, yeah, now you're talking. And then everything opens. But too many people are waiting for somebody or something to come and save them. Jupiter is going to be an eye opener for people because Jupiter is going to say, you got to get your emotions in check. Nobody's coming to save you because guess who's coming to save you? You. Do the work. Do the work. Jupiter's a big planet. I would not want to get in its way. But when you are working with Jupiter, it's all manifesting in good fortune and joy. Like Jupiter is like, let's go to the mall and have fun. Jupiter's a great energy if you work with it. All right. And I'm just kind of giving you some summer energies right now. I'm not doing the whole year. So Neptune's going to retrograde in Aries. And Neptune moves in 14-year cycles. It's a slow mover. Neptune is how you dream. It's your introspection, it's your reality check. It's going to unveil illusions. So a lot of people get shocked during Neptune retrograde. Now it's happening in Aries. Okay, we got a lot of fiery Aries happening. This is why I said this summer is explosive. Aries is on fire. Aries is like, okay, y'all, I'm lighting a fire under all y'all. That's what Aries is doing. Now in Neptune, um, again, things that have been covered up are going to get exposed. My best advice for when challenging things or difficult things or shocking things happen, come at it with curiosity. My favorite phrase is, well, isn't that interesting? All the cover-ups, everything that's coming out. Watching this P. Diddy trial. Well, isn't that interesting? I'm not getting all emotional. It has nothing to do with me. All the collapsing structures literally has nothing to do with you and me. They want us to believe it does, but it doesn't. But if you just look at it like, isn't that curious? I wonder why that's happening. You're neutral. Now you're working with energies. But if you get all emotional and get triggered, these planets are going to bat you around like a pinball in a pinball machine of life. Saturn going retrograde in Aries. Here we go again with more fiery Aries energy. Saturn wants you to set boundaries, create order. It's going to give you a reality check. It's going to give you a karma check, and it's doing it in fiery Aries. Okay. You can get ahead of all of this and just do the inner work. Okay. Mercury retrograde, everybody knows about Mercury retrograde. Mercury is how you communicate and how you think. And which is why a lot of people stick their foot in their mouth because their thoughts come out in words and then they're like, whoops, I shouldn't have said that. So Leo is fiery, okay, very bold. So be cautious with communication and travel. And a lot of truths are going to be exposed. So that's why it's a fiery summer. Chiron is the wounded healer. This is your emotional wounds, and it's in Aries, fire. So look deep on how you can regulate your emotions. It's not for anybody to do it for you. That's for you. That's for you to do. This is part of the energy shift. You taking absolute control over everything in your life. And if there's something in your life you don't like, it's there because you put it there. It's a bitter pill to swallow. First time I heard that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. But now it's like, yep, you're right. You're right. And if I put it there, I can take it away. Okay? It's empowering. It's empowering. Chiron is going to help you through the emotional wounds to do the inner work so that you can upgrade. And Aries wants to burn it down. It's like a phoenix. So karmic emotional wounds in our society are going to be bubbling up to heal. It's part of the karmic loop. It's part of the karmic cycle. And then we have Saturn retrograding in Pisces, September through the end of November. And remember, Saturn's likes boundary, likes order. Pisces is very watery and flowy and dreamy and intuitive and ethereal, which can soften up the harshness of Saturn. So just watch for your aha moments and more awakening happening. And then Uranus retrograding in Gemini. Uranus is how you stand out from the crowd, but Uranus is also about chaos and sudden changes. So when it's retrograding, chaos happens. Okay, Gemini is very airy and curious and social. And so these two pair very well together. Okay, so things are shaking up. Revolution, innovation, change, dimensional shifts, things that once had meaning are irrelevant. Irrelevant. Because after chaos comes beauty. Okay. So we're going to still see a lot of uprising, a lot of clashing of people and systems collapsing, but it's for new to come in. Can't bring in something new until you tear down something old. All right. Let's talk about moon influences. So I want to talk real quick about north and south nodes. They're not really moons. They're placements in the sky, but they impact eclipses. So that's why I put it in here. They move every 18 months, and they are now currently in Aries and Virgo, which are polar opposites in the zodiac chart. So you can look on your birth chart to see if your north and south nodes are in Aries and Virgo, and if they are, then you're in a lot of transformation because your north node is your direction and your evolution. It's your guiding star. Your south node is where you're coming from. That's the karmic loops that you play out right now that you need to transmute. Okay. So, we are still under the influence of the March total lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse that happened. And then in September, we're going to have another eclipse season. And eclipses really basically bring to light things that have been hidden. So again, doing shadow work can really help you handle these energies and look forward to them. And that's the thing when you do the work, I look forward to all of this. It's like going into the height of retrograde season this summer. Yeah, bring it on. I want to see what happens. But if you're not doing the work, it can create a lot of fear. Okay, so this is where you get to decide. Do you want to be oppressed or do you want to liberate yourself? All right, I want to talk about timelines because I've mentioned this that the timeline that you're on will be the world that you see. That's the short answer. So our planet has generally been living under one timeline, and I don't know exactly when a timeline split, but it absolutely started splitting in 2020. To me, timelines are like pages on a book. Earth is the book, and all the timelines, all the pages in the book. We have a lot of timelines happening simultaneously. And this is why I say two people can literally look at the same thing and have two polar opposite viewpoints on it. And it's because they're two different pages in the book, two different pages. Your timeline is the path that you walk and what you will experience. It's literally what you will see. Your timeline is based on your frequency. It's based on what you focus on. If you're focused on everything going wrong, that's your timeline. And you're going to just see a lot more of what's going wrong. But if your frequency, this is why I asked you, write down what you want, not what you don't want. Write down what you want. Write down what you want for the world. That shifts your timeline right there. Bam. Focus on what you want. Focus on your highest timeline. What is the best case scenario? Because we have multiple timelines on this planet right now. Some of the timelines are merging together. Some have collapsed because belief systems have collapsed. Some timelines have collapsed because we've literally pulled our energy away from it. human beings are coming together and saying, do not support that business. And we're collapsing businesses. That's collapsing a timeline. Okay. So if you have friends or family or hobbies in the past that you were very connected to and now you're not, your timeline split from them. They didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You're upgrading. Maybe they are upgrading. That's how you know you're in an energy shift, is when things that you once resonated with you no longer do. Okay, but remember, if you're choosing, and you notice I use that word, if you are choosing to live in fear, worry, anger, hatred, rage, constriction, you're going to be on that timeline and you're going to see everything to be fearful about, worry about, be angry at, to be rageful at. You're going to feel the constriction. You're going to buy in to, and this may be controversial, but I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of manipulation happening. If you buy into the economy is collapsing, then it's going to collapse for you. And I can say this because in 2008, we all remember the recession, the big recession in 2008. I practiced these techniques back then. I didn't buy into a damn thing that they said. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. And I taught a small group of my friends, and I said, we are literally ignoring everything that we're being told. Everything was fine. Okay. So remember, what you focus on is your timeline. What frequency is your timeline. Always aim for the highest timeline that you can and then live it. Live it. Don't just say, I want to have a timeline where everybody gets along. You need to get along with everybody, not just those who you like. You need to get along with everybody, even the people that you don't like. If your highest timeline is, my business is thriving, then you start behaving like that. You start pouring into your business and you help it thrive. Okay? Your inner world, your beliefs, your mindset, your actions are your timeline because they are your frequency. And when you do your inner work, it shows in your outer work. Okay? This is why, and you've probably heard this. I mean, a lot of people say this because everybody's focused on the economy right now. Why is it that some people lose everything and other people expand their wealth by obscene percentages? The ultra wealthy love a low economy. They're like, this is where we make our money. What's the difference between the two? It's their frequency. They're like, low economy, big deal. No big deal. We're just going to go buy a bunch of stocks at low prices. It's their frequency, it's their timeline. And when you really start thinking at the world like this, you can radically shift your life. Okay? All right. So, how long have I been going? Oh, we're close to an hour and a half. All right. So, how do you handle these energies? Okay. Number one, you have to transmute your old programming by recognizing contrast. Okay. Which means as you see things that you don't like, you need to reassess everything that you've learned, everything that you've been programmed by your family, your schooling, your church, your community, the media, politics, healthcare system, everything. You need to be able to look at it and be willing to reassess everything and say, I look at the contrast and I don't want that, so I want to focus on what I do want. Be very self-aware of how you're changing. Okay? And really, really look at everything, because when you step back and realize that we've been programmed, everybody has. I have programs in me. Some of them are fantastic, and other ones I am eliminating. We've all been programmed. So you need to really look at how you've been programmed. Media is a big one, is an absolute, and I'm not just talking about news, I'm talking about movies too. How we've been programmed, especially into violence, how Western medicine has programmed us, how education, we all learn different things. Shouldn't history all be the same? But we all learn differently. Religion programs us, the law programs us, and I can say that as an attorney. Okay, so just be willing to transmute your old programming. Be aware and acknowledge when you drop into the low vibration of energy of fear, worry, or anger, because those are moments of contrast. So when you, no one is ever going to be daisies and tulips, kittens and puppies all day long, 100% of the time. You're going to have low moments. When you do, that's when you get curious and say, oh, isn't it interesting that I have fear right now? That I am feeling fear. Recognize the contrast, use it as an opportunity for shadow work, turn it into empowering yourself. That's what I'm going to teach you in the shadow class next week. So, people who are undergoing a spiritual shift can see the contrast and they can shift themselves into what they want. And if you put on blinders and you don't see the contrast, if you do not see evil or greed or cruelty or lack of compassion, then you're not able to reach for the frequency of what you want because you haven't experienced and been exposed to what you don't want. We live in a duality world, okay? So just like you can't experience love until you've given love, okay? You won't really understand freedom unless you've had freedom taken away from you and know what that feels like. Um, you won't be able to pull yourself out of struggle until you've had struggle. That's what contrast is. If, like I said, if everything was coming up daisies and tulips, you would never experience contrast. And so you would never make a conscious decision to reach for more, to always reach for more. So, if you are ever being taught that spiritual evolution is always positive and always joyful and always high frequency, and by people who are just manifesting unicorns out of their behind, I mean, it's you've been fed toxic positivity wrapped in spiritual psychosis. Spiritual awakening is where you see things that are difficult, but you know how to process it and you decide, I don't want that. Contrast. I want this instead, and I'm going to put all my energy into it. Because when I put energy into something, it's like putting gasoline in a car, and my car is going to go that way. Okay. But sometimes you have to go through difficulty so that you can make that shift. And that's when you elevate your frequency, when you are given the contrast to make decisions. Okay. So when you feel negative feelings, we all do. I've had my days. You are in a shift frequency. Just remember that. Put it on your bathroom mirror. When I feel negative, I am shifting. Okay? You're given a fork in the road. You have to make a decision. Okay? All right, next, be grounded, earthing, be out in nature. People who have emotional outbursts and triggers are not grounded. They're not grounded. The earth is here to keep you grounded, to help you transmute that energy. So tap into the earth. Work on nervous system regulation, deep breathing, slow down your life, step away from chaos. I taught this in April. The class is available on demand. If you didn't take it, just let me know and I can show you where it is on my website. Work on your emotional wounds and learn how to alchemize those triggers. So you know what your emotional wounds are based on your triggers. So whatever is triggering you right now is getting your attention. You have to change the energy, which is alchemizing. Change the energy and let it empower you. Okay? Trust and act on your intuition. Everybody is intuitive. Everybody is intuitive. You just don't trust it and you don't act on it. But you got to really detox your entire energy field. So if you're eating crap food, your intuition's going to be quiet. So you just need to cleanse and detox body, mind, and spirit. I'm going to give you some oils, I'm going to give you some crystals, but you have to trust the whispers and trust the messages and the ideas that come to you and then take action. You don't just let it come in and do nothing. You have to take action. Discern your own truth. Okay. Someone who is deep in the chaos energies is easily manipulated. There's a lot of chaos energies right now that are being manufactured. And when you are in it, you can be manipulated. Step away, quiet your mind, discern everything that you learn. Just like even tonight, I want you to discern everything that I'm saying. If it rings true, great. If it doesn't, great. You have to discern what's true for you. Do not blindly accept or follow anything without fact checking. Oh, please, people, the stuff I see on social media, like I'm not even on Facebook anymore. It's like I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It's like there's a thing called factcheck.org. Like literally, please go fact check. Find independent journalists. But it also includes discern who you learn from, the books that you read, the people that you follow online, especially in the spiritual community. I hear things and see things in the spiritual community. And when I do my truth discernment, it's a hard no. There's a lot of fear being peddled, and I don't like that. All of this is meant to empower us. It's meant for us to do the work. And I'm hearing spiritual people talking about how, oh, the banking system's going to collapse and we're no longer going to have currency and mortgages and debt. Okay, maybe that'll happen at some point, and I will eat my words, but I don't see it happening in our lifetime. Do you know what that would take to have to shift that? You don't do it all at once. Okay, so what it does is this sort of stuff puts people in a trance of spiritual psychosis and blind belief, and it's not okay. You need to discern truth. Okay. If you've taken a crystal class from me, you know how to pendulum test and you know how to body test. The next thing is anchor into your highest timeline. This is what is doing soul level work, where you anchor into the highest timeline for yourself and the highest timeline that you envision for all. And that's what you focus on. And that's what you put your energy on. And you do not get into the chaos. You do not focus on what you don't want. This is why I'm not on Facebook. I'm not. You may see me posting on Facebook, but I'm not scrolling at all because I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Okay. So I really want you to think about what is your highest timeline? What is your highest timeline? Okay. Be mindful of the words that you use because your beliefs and your thoughts create your words that bring a feeling that result in action or inaction. And if you have not learned how to genuinely shift your thoughts, your words, and your actions, now is the time. I mean, at some point, everybody really needs to learn this. This is how you empower yourself. Okay. So be very focused on the words that you say as well as the words that you're typing on social media. Be very careful because it's a frequency and you're literally putting out an order to the universe. And that's your timeline. That's your timeline. Set healthy boundaries and avoid places and people and situations that just drain your energy. It's okay to quietly step away. It is. It's okay. You don't have to announce that you're leaving the room. Just quietly step out. That's it. I've stepped out of a lot of places. No, I don't think anybody knows I'm gone. It's okay. It's okay to do it. It's healthy boundaries. Keep your frequency clear by doing things daily that bring you joy. And yes, I use the word daily, okay? Because when you're operating from joy, you have more gratitude, more compassion, which puts you in a higher frequency and you can shine your light and then your frequency changes the next person. That's what the map of consciousness talks about. Okay. And then lastly, clear the energy in your home with crystals, with oils. It's going to help you. It's going to help other people. It's going to help your pets. Keep your energy clear. All right. Now, you're going to get a recording to this, but if you want to snapshot this, you can. Here's the thing. You can find 1,000 different crystals and 1,000 different essential oils for all of these. I literally am giving you one single oil and one blend, well, a couple blends on a couple of these. And my philosophy is work with what you have, work with what you're drawn to. Just because these work for me in these ways, I want you to start trusting yourself. And if you're like, but Allie, I do better with the Valor blend or with lemon oil for transforming energy. Yes, yes. Go with what is right for you. Please, please. Okay, we're getting out of the energy of what I call prescription energy, where somebody hands you a prescription and says, "Here, do this." It may work for them, but it may not work for you because you're on a different timeline. So these are suggestions. You can work with them, but please trust your energy if you want to work with something different. So to transform your energy, to release the old programming and to release the old energies, neroli. I mean, it's called the ancient oil of transformation. Can't get much more clearer than that. And then the transformation oil. I tell you, this one I could snort. I could snort it all day long. This absolutely is my favorite blend. I just love that. And that just clears out all the beliefs and blocks. To stay grounded, if you can't get out in nature, black spruce is very deeply grounding, and sacred mountain. I mean, it grounds you and energizes you at the same time. It's like being in a mountain range. When you are working on healing deep emotional wounds, rose is your go-to oil, but a lot of people are like, rose has a pricey price tag on it. Go to Palmarosa as an alternative because that oil is an earth heart coherence oil. It's like nurturing mother energy and it stops your heart from shutting down during chaos. It is a very untalked about oil. It is powerful. All right. For having quiet time and increasing your intuition, sacred frankincense, absolutely very, very spiritual oil, and awaken. That helps with meditation and visualization. For discerning truth, I like Roman chamomile because it brings you that inner stillness so that you can identify if something is true or not. We are all equipped to discern truth. I mean, we are literally the ultimate lie detectors. It's just when you're so busy and you're all up in your head that it can't get through. Roman chamomile quiets that so that you can discern. So does the Gary's Light blend. It was actually created to help with discernment. For manifesting, I like cinnamon and the abundance blend, which has cinnamon in it. Cinnamon is an ancient manifesting oil. For setting healthy boundaries, I like Valor, the oil of courage, and I like White Angelica, which is angelic protection. If you have the Sacred Angel blend, has only come out a couple of times, that's also very protective. And then to just shine your light in high frequency, Joy blend is fantastic, and the Rise Above blend. Oh my gosh, that'll take you above the chaos so that you're not in it. Now for energy shift crystals, okay, this was really hard to, limit what 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 I was going to offer to you. So, to transform your energy, any high frequency quartz. So I'm talking anandamide, Himalayan quartz, Lemurian quartz, Tibetan quartz, but I also like epidote. That is called the crystal of transformation. That's a really good one. To stay grounded, I like amethyst, but I like the deeper amethyst, like the Auralite 23, the Aura Starlight, which is new that I just got this year. and the alien amethyst, that hematite coated amethyst. I like the like darker, kind of grittier amethyst, not the real light colored. Um, those will be very deeply grounding, as well as black tourmaline. For healing emotional wounds, like doing the shadow work, pink danbarite. I mean, it can be white danbarite, but danbarite, if it's pink, whoa, powerful heart healer. Works on ancestral and karmic healing as well. And I like pink nirvana quartz. Very peaceful, very blissful for heart healing. Helps you really release to align with your soul purpose. I mean, it's a very, very powerful crystal. For intuition and discernment, apophyllite. It's called the crystal of truth. Hello. Okay. That pretty much says it all. Apophyllite. And Brandberg. Oh, I call it the soul reconnect crystal because it's attuned to the white flame. It aligns you to your soul mission, and that's how you tap into truth. Brandberg's. For manifesting, I like anandamide, sometimes called aurora quartz, not aura. Those are quasi fake, but aurora. This is a manifesting and awakening crystal. It works multidimensionally in the energy field, and because manifesting occurs in the quantum field. Okay, you got to get multidimensional. You got to learn how to work with these crystals multidimensionally in order to manifest. And then stellar beam calcite, quantum field, manifesting. Okay, very high vibration. To help you set boundaries, euphorolite is really good for a field of protection around you, as is Numite. That is the ultimate protector. And then for high frequency and shining your light, Herkimer diamonds. That is the crystal that helps you show your light, and selenite is just pure white light where you're just anchoring in the highest timelines. All right, so here I am going to stop the recording here. No, I'm going to keep the recording going. But I'm going to email to you all because I'm going to put this video on my YouTube page, and not everybody is going to get a discount. But I'm going to email you all a discount. So I only open the Sacred Shift doors twice a year now. I'm going to be opening doors this Sunday. So June 1st through June 18th. I'm going to close it on the 18th because we have our summer solstice ceremony on the 18th, and that's when I'll close it. This is the community where we are doing the work. We are doing the work and we are shifting with the energies. We meet up twice a month. We have quarterly equinox and solstice ceremonies. You get recordings. You get a workbook, anywhere from 15 to 20 pages of information to work with. There's a lot of bonuses. A lot of classes that I create are given for free to the Sacred Shift people. They can access my private crystal store, and we do have a private Facebook community. But every month we have a specific topic that we dive into, but I also give real-time current energy updates. So I've given you just a snippet. Um, it usually takes me an hour to go through just for the month. Like I'm prepping the June class right now, which is going to be on June 1st. And I will spend an hour just talking about June energies for June 2025. So you get current updates, but then you also get these sacred lessons that give you the deep foundation to start doing the work. And you may look at these prices and say, holy shizzle, I don't know about this. I'm going to send you for the annual, I'm going to send you a discount code, and I will tell you it comes down to the cost of one dinner for a couple per month. The cost of going out with a spouse, a loved one, a friend, one dinner a month. That's what it costs. Is that worth it to you? Now the monthly membership is more, and there's not a discount on that. But just think about it. Just think about it. I love this community. It's a lot of information, and I call it a buffet for your soul because you pick and choose what you want. You belly on up to the buffet and say, this month I think I'm going to work on universal laws and straightening up my diet. Next month, I think I'm going to dive into chakras and focusing on oils. The next month, I think I'm going to do some protocols and maybe work with some guided meditations. I literally give you everything. You decide what you want. It's such a cool community. I just love it. All right, upcoming, I've mentioned several times the shadow class next Tuesday. Okay. Um, when I email you this recording, I'll put a link. If you already haven't signed up for it, I will put a link in there. And then I don't have it ready yet, but I think I'm going to build a business shadow class because I basically already started building it. And it's like, ooh, I need to do this for people's businesses because we need more really thriving businesses. And then if you've not taken any crystal classes from me, those are coming back in the fall. All right. And I'm on a lot of social media now because Facebook is twerking me off. I am not, I detest Facebook. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. I detest it. I can't be on it anymore. Instagram is lame. I love TikTok. I'm now getting into Substack. It's everything is shifting in social media. So wherever you are, hopefully I am there too, and we can connect. But I'll tell you from now until October 1st, I'm going to be what that picture is doing. I'm going to be at the lake rock hounding. It's going to be hard to pin me down. All right. I'm so glad you all stayed here. And did I look at the chat? I was in the zone. I was in the zone. I was channeling quite a bit of this. Um, all right. Okay, good. I didn't see any real big questions here. And I think Lori left, but we're still recording. Lori asked a question. I've been saying a lot lately. Why does this keep happening to me? And I feel like I'm paying for someone else's wrongdoing. That's a karmic loop, and it could be ancestral. So you just have to live the energy of what you want, not what you don't want. Yeah. All right. I know this was a lot. I'm pleased. Oh, I got it in a little over about an hour and 45 minutes. So, um, any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Anything that I haven't already covered? All right. Well, thanks for being here. Oh, Lara, you had a question?
No, I always do, Allie. Um, so could one of the
Hold
things
hold
that
that thought. Hold that thought. I need to stop the recording.